What's going on, guys? Over here. Welcome back to a brand new video today, and welcome to a very exciting video. I'm so pumped to actually be making this video because, as you can see by the title, we've got some rather interesting news, lads. You are not reading that incorrectly. F1 2016 will have a career mode back. It's going to have the proper career mode back, and it's going to have the safety car back. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the career mode briefly, the safety car being back, and the handling model of F1 2016. Those are the three things I'm allowed to talk about. If you aren't in the know, basically earlier in the week, Monday to Wednesday, 8 of us, including myself, were invited down to Codemasters, or rather up in my case, up to Birmingham at Codemasters to test F1 2016, and we had to sign NDAs, a non-disclosure agreement, so legally I can't say anything that I saw and heard at testing of this game unless Codemasters give me the kind of thumbs up and go ahead. So they have given us all the thumbs up to talk about career mode briefly, and the fact that there is a safety car, and briefly the handling model in terms of what it felt like. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. I'm also going to be talking about my experience at testing and general thoughts of my experience at testing, because I know some of you guys would be interested in that. So I'll talk about that at the end of the video. So if you want to stick around for that, by all means you can. But right now I'm going to talk about the actual stuff you probably care about most when clicking this video, which is career mode is back, and you want to know some details. I can't give you immense detail about what I've seen for the career mode, but I can give you my general thoughts, and oh boy, is it a good one. Now, I know by the end of the video, you guys are going to be probably incredibly frustrated at the amount of lack of detail I can give you on all this stuff, but trust me, for me, knowing it all and not being able to tell you guys is incredibly frustrating as well, because I just know how much you guys are going to enjoy it. I truly believe you guys are going to freaking love the career mode in 2016, that it's going to be something so worthwhile to get to actually play. In F1 2015 there wasn't really any point for any of you guys to play one more season. Obviously, for me, being a video content creator, I'll play a second season or a third to make content for you guys, to try and make some entertaining content week in, week out. But for you guys just playing the game, if you've got other stuff to do, it was pretty much a case of, oh, I've done one season, and that's pretty much it, because everything gets reset. But in this year's career mode, there's actually, there's a point to keep on playing it. There is a real big sense of progression, which is a huge thing that I've been going for pretty much the last 4 years, in terms of, I've always stated and banged on about it for 4 years probably. You guys are probably sick and tired of it, but I keep saying, the career mode needs to be a lot more immersive. It needs to be progressive. It needs to be, there needs to be longevity in the career mode. There needs to be a sense of, there's the whole package of the entire race weekend. You get the full kind of grasp of it all. 2016 really goes a long way to trying to get that. Of course, there's still room to improve 2016 career mode, and you guys can bet that I gave all the feedback I could on career mode while I was there for the 3 days. I gave literally pages of feedback, I think, to the guys there. I made that video asking your guys' opinion on what you want in offline game modes, and I wrote down an entire A4 page from the comment section, kind of getting the biggest ideas, jotting it down all on an A4 page, filled the A4 page, handed it to one of the devs, Luke, who's an audio guy at Codemasters, but I told him that he probably knows where to give this to, and he said straight away that he'll type it up and he'll send it around to the devs, because it'll be easier to kind of have it typed up and send it around that way. And then immediately the next day, Lee Mather, the kind of head producer there, straight away also said that he had a whole list that he gave Luke as well, and that they put all those ideas into a spreadsheet to kind of, so they can all look at it and they have all these ideas all spread out in front of them. So I definitely believe that from going to the testing, that they are taking on board all the feedback we gave. And in terms of the actual makeup of the feedback, obviously you guys know that a lot of the guys that went there were all kind of online and league races, so it was sort of my job to almost try and fight the corner for career mode and make sure it was given the love and attention it needed, because you've got people like Matt, JD, who are league racers. All three of the forum members that came were all league racers as well, and obviously Alex Gillen used to do league racing. And then Ben, obviously, yes, he does career mode, but even Ben in the kind of near past has said that he wants to sort of move away from career mode a little bit, and he wants to try and just do one-off videos and stuff like that, whereas I'm pretty much, I'm here to stay with career mode. I don't really, I'm not too interested in much more on F1 in terms of, what I would play more. I play career mode the most. That's the game mode I care about the most, and I made sure I gave as much feedback as I could. On Wednesday, I played about half an entire season of career mode on Wednesday. On Tuesday, I got through to about Catalonia. It was, it was a lot of sweat on career mode, and as I said, I combed through everything, gave them lots of feedback on little tweaks here and there in terms of how it was presented, and the presentation as well, they've really tried to step it up, and generally, it feels a lot more polished and it feels a lot more kind of rounded as a career mode. But the actual details, unfortunately, I can't say. But just know this: they now truly understand what the community wants. They know we want the live the life experience. They know we want the mantra back from 2010. They know we want to be immersed. We want to be pulled in like any other single player game. Doesn't matter if we compare F1 to, a non-sport game. I want to try and have career mode be as immersive as anything, trying to pull you in to that experience, and they really do understand that, and they've taken the feedback I gave them on board, the feedback you guys gave to me to give to them, they've taken that on board. Then they themselves already knew about a lot of stuff. Lee gave a presentation to us on Monday morning when we started off the testing, and the first kind of, I think like within 5 slides, it was the kind of first feature slide, and it was career mode, and a few screenshots of some of the pages and UI of career mode, and my jaw dropped to the floor. I actually considered maybe going, out of my seat and start kind of bowing down, although that would have been quite awkward, but I did consider it because it was really like a case of holy damn. I saw the screenshots and things that they had in career mode even before I started playing it, and I was already immediately like, oh wow, they've actually done this. Because I was very skeptical. I was very, very skeptical after how disappointing 2015 was. I was very pessimistic about what the career mode was going to be like. I really thought it would have been maybe another championship mode disaster, but it really isn't. It really isn't. And I really can't wait for you guys to know more. I can't wait for Codemaster to give me the go-ahead or to, say some news themselves about the details of the career mode. But just know this, guys. Hopefully, obviously, you don't have to take my word on what I thought of Codemasters because, some people will never kind of, let their opinion go of what Codemasters is as a company. But I assure you, it's a fact for me, guys, that I love career mode and I'm deeply passionate about what career mode is about and improving career mode. So I hope you can take my word for it in terms of what the career mode is for 2016. I hope you guys can get excited for that because truly I wouldn't be saying this if I was disappointed in it. I would be slagging it off if I was disappointed in it. But really, I can't say that. I really wasn't disappointed. I was very, very surprised at what it had in it and how much of a leap it was from 2015 and even previous games. It's even a leap over previous career modes that we've had. So yeah, I think that's enough waffling in terms of what I can actually say because it's kind of annoying. I have to sort of beat around the bush, and that means it could turn into quite a waffly video. So that's all I'm going to say on career mode. It is definitely step up from what they've done in any previous game. The sense of progression, the immersion in the career mode is a real step forward. And of course, there's things to improve upon for future F1 franchises. And I've told them that. I've given my feedback. We had like 2-hour end of the day meetings at the end of the day where we just really piled on the feedback. And, I've been sure to tell them what you guys and what I personally want in terms of a career mode, and they've listened. I think they've really taken it on board, and it's going to be a very exciting future for career mode on F1. Not just for the future, but 2016 immediately. This year is going to be lit. It's going to be lit AF. Career mode is going to be absolutely awesome. It's going to be such a good time creating that series when it drops, when the game comes out. But let's move on to the next thing, which is the safety car. I can't really say too much about the safety car apart from the fact that it does exist, guys. So we all know the safety car was a huge annoying miss from 2015, I should say. It just really, really, kind of wrecked some races where the safety car, you wouldn't think so because it's, it's just a safety car. But the safety car plays a huge part because it can neutralize a race and get you right back in there. Or it can, completely turn a race on its head. And the fact that it's back is absolutely awesome. And, it's good to see it back. It's good to see it back. And finally, guys, the third thing I can talk to you guys about is handling and my general feel of it. Now, obviously, I use a wheel, so if you are a controller user, I recommend you go check out TRL Limitless's video because he goes really into depth about how it felt on a controller for him, at least, but on a wheel, for me at least, compared to 2015, the handling, I told you guys, before, in my previous video, before I went to testing, that I really hope they haven't wasted time, like tweaking the handling like hugely because I felt like it really almost didn't need touching in 2015. But they've tweaked it a little bit for 2016, but it's pretty much 2015 handling, but really refined and kind of improved in the areas it needed to. In terms of kind of the traction zones and the braking, they've improved upon it and kind of refined it. I felt in braking zones, in 2015, you could kind of, you could still very much sort of rape the gears down on the downshifts and kind of turn in very fast and really, slam on on the brakes and you slow it down quite fast. In this year's game, brake zones definitely, for me at least, I think also JD agreed with me when he talked about the feeling on the controller, that definitely the brake zones have been extended. The amount of time you're spending braking is a lot more important. And, when you go into the kind of tight, high-speed corners where, you got brake point after brake point, where, maggots and beckets and stuff like that, you really have to actually plan your braking points, correctly, because you need to brake for quite a while to actually get the thing slowed down through some of the corners, especially when you go into like a hairpin or something like that. So you really have to actually think about it and spot the braking zone a lot more. Whereas in 2015, it was a case of, I'll brake at the second brake marker board, and that was pretty much it. Rake the gears down, turn in, chuck it in, and you're good to go. But this year's game, you have to kind of actually manage the brake a little bit. Definitely felt like I could lock the brakes up a little bit more. I think JD said that he gave a lot of feedback on that he wants the braking to be a bit harder on the controller, but at least on the wheel, for me, the braking was, a little bit more harder than 2015. Like, you actually have to kind of think about it a little bit more, otherwise you will kind of have a huge lockup, especially into the huge braking zones like Bahrain Turn 1, I recall being a very tricky braking zone to actually match AI on, in terms of, you really have to slam on the brakes quite early, but also at the same time, you don't want to lock up and scrub off speed. And talking about scrubbing off speed, that's a huge thing in this year's game, I think. Having momentum into corners is very, very important. You have to be able to carry the car in the kind of higher gear, if you will, to try and gain the momentum into the next part of the circuit. So I thought that was a bit more refined, because previously 2015, there are a few corners here and there. I'm thinking like corners where in Monaco or Spa, where you could kind of go down one more gear than you really had to, and then rev the engine out, and that's how you get the grip and the kind of acceleration mid corner. But this year's game, it's not really there. You have to kind of just let the car roll through, and you have to do all the momentum stuff before you even get to the corner. So in that way, I thought the handling was refined, but generally in a pleasant way, not too different from 2015 in terms of the overall experience, which I liked, because 2015 was the best handling we've had so far, and it really didn't need too much tweaking. Anyway, so if you want to click off, by all means you can now, but I'm going to be talking about my experience at Codemasters in terms of just a general kind of thing going to testing. It was absolutely awesome to actually see Codemasters HQ in Birmingham, to actually walk through the parts where you saw back in 2010, like the dev diaries, you saw the kind of blurred computer screens behind kind of Paul, Gilles and Lee, and to actually walk through that area and see things on people's screens of the new F1 game being made, like the code up there on the screens and stuff. It was actually really, really cool to see, and going in there and then being able to talk to the devs. We had these end of session meetings at the end of each day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I think they were pretty much planned to be like 40 minutes to an hour, but they always went on for about 2 hours, because we literally had so much to tell them, and they were actually very, willing to talk back to us. There was actual conversation going between back and forth of, oh, right, okay, so that's what we can improve on. Oh, okay, so that, yeah, there's like, just actual genuine, like, real discussions, and it was really great to actually be a part of that. And it was very surreal, I must say, very, very surreal to talk to people like Lee and Paul, people that I had only watched on dev diaries from 2010 and 2011, and that, you only get to sort of talk with on Twitter, but to actually be there, in person, talk to them, and see the reaction in their face, and taking back feedback, also in terms of not just negative stuff, but also positive stuff. When I told them that I was very, very happy with the direction they're going with the career mode, it really felt like it was nice to see that they also knew that they're going in the right direction. So it was great on both sides of the spectrum. So. And we also talked to them about kind of communication, because in the past they haven't been too great with communicating why certain things couldn't be in the game or why not. And they were able to explain it to us there and then, explain like, why, it couldn't be done for any reason from like the coding or the back end side or anything like that. And, it was they were completely honest and open about it, because obviously we were under NDA, so they could be completely honest about it. And, I think we definitely got a message across to them that they need to maybe be a bit more open like that in the future when they can, and they need to try and maybe work on their communication a little bit. So hopefully that's something they're going to work on, and I definitely got the gist that they knew that was an issue and that they're going to try and rectify it in the coming months. So hopefully that'll be a bit better on the kind of social media front. But yeah, it was a very awesome experience, and once again, thank you to Codemaster for inviting me out there. It was absolutely awesome, and thank you to you guys for the people who nominated me, and just generally you guys watching me, because obviously it does help being in a kind of position like I am on YouTube. It probably did help a little bit being invited out there, but also at the same time, it also meant that, all, 70,000 of you, there was an opportunity for as many of you to get your ideas to me, and, you can be rest assured that I, completely tried my 100% 200% best to, give all the feedback through. I said I wrote down that piece of paper, all the ideas you guys gave me in the comments. I handed that to Luke, who typed it out. During the feedback sessions, I, nitpicked the career mode and tried to find those extra little improvements they could make to the things inside the career mode. So I think it was a success as a whole. As a whole, I think it's going to be a success. And, obviously now I don't know if they're going to do another testing later on, but if it's going to be until the release date, I think if, the game comes out and I can spot some of the improvements that I suggested in career mode being implemented, even just one or two, I think that'd be a huge success for me in terms of, being able to have a positive impact on it. But at the same time, before I even made any sort of kind of feedback on it, it was, a very, very, very solid kind of, presentation Lee gave us on Monday in terms of the career mode and everything else. And, I was super impressed, and I think you guys will really enjoy it. So yeah, that's been it. I don't want to waffle on too long. So guys, if you have enjoyed that video, smash that like button. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. Unfortunately, I won't be able to answer any of your questions on anything else on the game. Pretty much all I've said in this video is all I can say, because I'm under NDA, legally binding. I can get in some huge trouble if I do slip up and say something, so that's just going to be the way it is. Hopefully you guys understand, and you can be patient enough and just take my word for it that it is worth the wait for the news in terms of what's actually in the game properly. So yeah, I've been Aarava. I hope you enjoyed the rest of the day. I'll see you guys next time. If you're new around here, then do subscribe for weekly Formula 1 content. So yeah, if you're new around here and you're looking forward to 2016, why not check out the stuff I'm making right now in 2015 and other F1 games. But yeah, I've been Aarava. I hope you enjoyed the rest of the day, and I'll see you guys next time.